let me tell you of an ancient verse born in chaos. This is the story of Psalm 46:10, where divine stillness conquered human fear, where God's whisper drowned out an empire's roar. The scribes are trembling, the king is praying, the enemy promises destruction, but one family of singers remembers something powerful. They remember their father's rebellion, their grandfather's fall into the earth. They know what happens when you challenge the Almighty, but they also know mercy. They know the God who saves even the children of rebels, and today they will sing a song of perfect trust. The walls shake with enemy footsteps, hearts pound with terror, yet through the noise one voice rises, "Be still and know that I am God." How do you be still when armies surround you? How do you know God when death threatens? The sons of Korah have learned this secret. Let me take you back to that desperate night in Jerusalem, when faith faced its greatest test and stillness became salvation. But first, let me show you why these words matter today, why this ancient promise still speaks to every anxious heart, every fearful soul. From hospital rooms to boardrooms, from student apartments to refugee camps, this verse carries power. But where did it come from? Come with me into the darkness of ancient Jerusalem, where terror and trust collided, and God spoke his eternal promise of presence. King Sennacherib of Assyria has crushed 46 cities of Judah. His war machine approaches Jerusalem like a storm cloud of steel. The Assyrians are not just soldiers, they are destroyers. They flay kings alive, build pyramids from severed heads, feast on terror. Hezekiah, king of Judah, has rebelled against Assyrian tribute. Now comes the price. The most feared army on earth camps at his gates. Inside Jerusalem, mothers clutch their children, soldiers check their weapons, priests burn incense. Everyone knows death is coming. The Assyrian messenger shouts from the walls, "Your God cannot save you. We have destroyed nations mightier than Judah. Surrender now." Fear ripples through the city like plague. Some weep, some despair, some consider surrender. But King Hezekiah does something else. He takes the enemy's letter, walks into the temple, and spreads it before the altar. "Lord," he prays, "see how they mock your holy name." In this moment of ultimate crisis, when human strength has failed, when hope seems lost, God prepares to teach his people stillness. The prophet Isaiah comes with God's answer, "Do not fear. This king will not enter the city. I will defend Jerusalem for my own sake." But before deliverance comes, before the miracle, the people must learn something. They must learn to be still, to stop striving. This is when the sons of Korah compose their song, not after victory but in the midst of terror. Faith before sight, trust before rescue. "Be still," they sing, "and know that I am God." While arrows wait outside and battering rams gather, they choose supernatural calm. Stillness is not inaction, it is the deepest form of action, the surrender that invites omnipotence, the silence that summons power. That night, the angel of the Lord walks through the Assyrian camp. By morning, 185,000 soldiers lie dead. Sennacherib flees in shame. Jerusalem is saved. But the real victory was won earlier, in the hearts that chose to be still, to know God, to trust completely. This is the historical context of Psalm 46:10. Born in siege, raised in terror, baptized in miraculous deliverance, a song for dark hours. But who were these sons of Korah? How did the children of a rebel become the voice of perfect trust? Their story will astound you. From the depths of family shame to the heights of temple glory, their journey shows how God transforms even the worst beginnings. The siege of Jerusalem was just one crisis. The sons of Korah had been preparing for this moment through generations of learning trust. Their ancestors fell into the earth for challenging Moses, but God saved the children. Mercy became the foundation of their music. They knew what it meant to be upheld by the right hand of God's righteousness, because their entire family line was living proof. When terror came to Jerusalem, they did not panic, they sang. They had learned that God's character never changes, never fails. Now, as siege engines roll closer and death seems certain, they offer the city a gift, the secret of supernatural stillness. Korah was a Levite who challenged Moses in the wilderness. He gathered 250 leaders and demanded equal authority with God's chosen servants. "The earth opened its mouth," Moses declared, "and swallowed Korah alive." His followers burned in divine fire. Rebellion met judgment. But Numbers 26:11 records a stunning detail. "Nevertheless, the children of Korah died not. Mercy preserved the innocent generation." These surviving sons learned the hardest lesson possible. God's judgment is real, but his mercy endures forever to those who trust him. Generation by generation, the sons of Korah became gatekeepers of the temple, guardians of sacred worship, singers of divine praise. By David's time, they led the temple choirs. Their voices echoed through Solomon's courts. They knew intimately the God they served. Their psalms speak of refuge, of God's protection, of trust in dark times. They wrote from experience, not mere religious theory. Psalm 42, "As the deer pants for water, so my soul thirsts for God." They knew desperate thirst and divine satisfaction equally well. Psalm 44, "Though you slay us, we will trust you." They understood that faith sometimes requires walking through the valley of death. Psalm 45 celebrates the divine King. Psalm 46 trusts him in crisis. Psalm 47 worships him in victory. They knew God in every season. When Jerusalem faced Sennacherib, the sons of Korah drew upon centuries of hard-won wisdom about God's character and faithfulness. Their family motto could have been, "We know what it means to be upheld by God's righteousness, because we are living proof." They had learned that human rebellion ends in destruction, but divine mercy creates new beginnings. This shaped every song they sang. So when terror came to Jerusalem, they did not compose from fear, but from faith. Not from panic, but from profound trust in God. "Be still, and know that I am God," they sang. These were not empty words, but the distilled wisdom of a family saved by divine grace. The sons of Korah knew that stillness is not passivity. It is the active choice to stop striving and start trusting completely. They had seen what happens when humans challenge God's authority. They had also seen what happens when humans surrender to his love. Their music became the soundtrack of trust, the melody of faith, the harmony of hearts aligned with heaven's unshakable truth. From the ashes of their grandfather's rebellion rose a dynasty of worship leaders who taught Israel how to trust God in any storm. And now, as Assyrian war drums beat outside Jerusalem's walls, they offer their greatest gift, the secret of supernatural stillness. To the people of Jerusalem in 701 BC, "Be still and know that I am God" was not a meditation technique, it was a survival strategy. When the Assyrian messenger shouted threats from the wall, when fear paralyzed the city, stillness became an act of supreme defiance. Be still meant, stop your frantic planning, cease your desperate schemes, quit trying to save yourselves through human wisdom, and know that I am God meant, remember who rules the universe, recall my covenant promises, recognize my power over every enemy. For the original audience, this was not about inner peace, it was about ultimate victory. Not personal meditation, but national salvation. The Hebrew word for still means to cease, to desist, to let go. God was commanding them to release their grip on human solutions. When you stop striving in your own strength, you make room for God to act in his. When you cease your efforts, his power begins. The word know is not intellectual but relational. It means to experience intimately, to trust completely, to depend absolutely. The people needed to experience God's faithfulness, not just believe in it. To know his power personally, not just acknowledge it. "I will be exalted among the heathen," the verse continues. This was God's promise to demonstrate his supremacy over Assyria. "I will be exalted in the earth." Not just in Jerusalem, but everywhere. Sennacherib would learn who truly rules the nations. For the besieged city, this promise meant vindication. Their God would prove himself mightier than the mightiest human empire. The original audience heard these words while arrows waited and battering rams gathered. Faith required choosing trust over terror. They had to believe that stillness was strength, that surrender was victory, that God's power worked best through human weakness. This was not comfortable religion, but desperate faith. Not Sunday morning inspiration, but siege, time transformation of the heart. When the dawn came and revealed 185,000 dead Assyrians, the people understood. Stillness had indeed led to salvation. They learned that God's timeline is perfect. His methods are mysterious, but his promises are absolutely trustworthy in every crisis. Be still and know became their battle cry, their comfort song, their reminder of the night God defended Jerusalem through stillness. For generations after, when enemies threatened and fear rose, they would remember, our God saves those who learn to be still. The original meaning was clear. In your darkest hour, when human help fails, be still and watch God demonstrate his power. Today, our enemies may not carry swords, but they carry equal power to destroy. Anxiety, depression, failure, loss, overwhelming fear. A single mother faces eviction, bills piling higher than hope. Be still, the ancient words whisper. Know that I am God, trust me now. A student stares at exam results that could destroy her dreams. Be still. Stop the frantic mental planning. Know your God is faithful. A father receives his child's diagnosis. The word cancer echoes like a death sentence. Be still. Know that I am God. I am still sovereign. A couple watches their marriage crumble despite every effort to save it. Be still. Release control. Know that God can resurrect anything. An elderly woman faces her final illness. Fear whispers of pain and loneliness. Be still, her Savior says. Know that I am your God forever. A businessman stands before bankruptcy, reputation ruined, future uncertain. Be still. Stop the desperate scheming. Know God's provision. A refugee family huddles in a camp, everything lost, hope nearly gone. Be still. Know that the God of the displaced is with you here. The applications are endless because human anxiety is universal. Every generation faces moments when only supernatural stillness helps. Be still does not mean be passive. It means stop fighting God, stop trusting only yourself, stop believing you must save yourself. And know that I am God means remember his character, recall his promises, recognize his power is greater than any circumstance you face. In hospital waiting rooms, this verse has calmed frantic hearts. In courtrooms, it has steadied shaking hands. In grief, it has given hope. Modern believers discover what ancient Jerusalem learned. God's power works best through human surrender, his strength through our weakness. The verse does not promise easy answers or quick fixes. It promises something better, the presence of an all-powerful, loving God. When you cannot see the way forward, be still. When solutions seem impossible, know that I am God. When fear overwhelms, trust completely. This is not positive thinking or psychological technique. This is supernatural intervention available to every heart that learns stillness. The same God who saved Jerusalem from Assyria can save you from whatever army surrounds your life today. He has not changed. His methods may surprise you, his timeline may test you, but his faithfulness will sustain you. This is the modern power of ancient truth. Every anxious heart can learn the secret of the Sons of Korah. When human effort fails, divine stillness opens heaven's power. From Assyrian siege engines to modern anxiety disorders, the prescription remains the same. Be still and know that I am God. We have journeyed from ancient Jerusalem to modern hearts, from siege warfare to personal battles, from terror to supernatural trust. The Sons of Korah learned from their family's rebellion that challenging God ends in destruction, but trusting God leads to salvation. When Sennacherib surrounded Jerusalem, they offered their greatest gift, the secret of stillness in the storm, peace in the chaos. Be still and know that I am God was not born in comfort but in crisis, not in safety but in siege, not in peace but in panic. This makes it perfect for your darkest hour, your deepest fear, your most desperate moment. It was designed for times like these. The verse teaches us that stillness is not weakness, but the highest form of strength. It is faith that stops striving and starts trusting. When you are overwhelmed, remember Jerusalem's walls. When enemies surround, recall God's deliverance. When hope fades, choose stillness. The God who saved Jerusalem from Assyria has not changed. His power has not diminished. His love has not failed. His promises still stand. Every anxious mother, every worried father, every struggling student, every fearful heart can learn the secret of supernatural stillness. Be still does not mean give up. It means give in to God's perfect will, His perfect timing, His perfect power to save and deliver. And know that I am God means experience His faithfulness personally, trust His character completely, depend on His strength absolutely. This ancient verse written in siege darkness still speaks to every human crisis, every moment when we face more than we can handle. The Sons of Korah learned that God's right hand of righteousness upholds all who trust Him. Their family line was living proof. From rebellion's ashes rose worship leaders who taught Israel to trust. From your struggles can rise testimony that points others to God. Take time today to practice supernatural stillness. Stop striving in your own strength. Start trusting in God's unlimited power. When anxiety rises, remember the siege. When fear threatens, recall the deliverance. When hope fails, choose to be still and know. If this ancient promise has spoken to your heart, share it with others. Let the world know that our God still saves through stillness. Subscribe to join our community of believers learning to trust God in every season, to find peace in every storm through His eternal word. Comment below with your own story of how God has taught you stillness in crisis. Your testimony could encourage someone today. Like and share this video to spread the message that supernatural peace is available to every heart that learns to be still and know God. The siege of Jerusalem ended in victory because the people chose trust over terror. Your siege can end the same way. Whether you face financial pressure, family crisis, health scares, or heartbreaking loss, the ancient prescription still works perfectly. Be still, and know that I am God. These 8 words contain the power to transform any situation, heal any hurt, calm any storm. From the Sons of Korah to your own heart, this message has traveled through time because it works in every generation, every crisis. As we close, let the words wash over your soul once more. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted in all the earth. These are not just words on a page but promises from heaven, not mere inspiration but divine intervention available to you right now. When everything around you shakes, when mountains move and seas rage, when life overwhelms, remember the God who never changes. He is your refuge and strength, your very present help in trouble. He upholds you with the right hand of His righteousness. Let stillness be your sanctuary, trust your fortress, and God's presence your peace that passes all understanding in every storm. The Sons of Korah discovered this secret in Jerusalem's darkest hour. You can discover it in yours. Be still and know your God. May the peace that calmed a besieged city calm your anxious heart. May the power that defeated Assyria defeat every fear you face. And may you learn, like ancient worship leaders, that God's greatest victories often come through the surrendered heart that chooses stillness. This is the timeless message of Psalm 46:10. Born in crisis, proven in siege, perfected in surrender, available to you today. Be still and know that I am God. Let these words become your anchor in every storm, your comfort in every trial, your hope in every hour. Until we meet again, may you walk in supernatural stillness, trust in unshakable faith, and know the God who saves through surrender. God bless you. Amen.